Is Sony 6-axis for the PS3 a lost cause? Well, we'll go head-to-head and find out.
Plus 5 X-Play-approved games you should be playing right now. Well, not right now, because X-Play starts now.
X-Play, the center of the gaming universe.
Today on X-Play, get your wallet and forget whatever else you've heard. We'll tell you what games to buy with our list of X-Play approved favorites. Plus, we'll go head-to-head to talk about the newly released DualShock 3. Should you have to re-buy your PlayStation 3 controllers all over again? And Mr. Sark has the result of his latest gamer challenge. He'll tell you who took the best headshot for Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Spit out that gum. It's game time.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the only video game show endorsed by Frank Booth. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Thursday, April 10th. On today's show, we'll go head-to-head over some Rumble. Is the DualShock 3 worth its $55 price tag, or is this just another misstep for the PS3?
And we'll show you the creme de la creme, the best of the best, and use other superlatives to describe some of our favorite games. These recent picks have all been X-Play approved. Plus, we'll get to put Baby in a corner and then mock her mercilessly with our review of Dirty Dancing for the PC. It's brutal. But first, we've got all of the latest news. It's time for the gaming update.
Sony Japan has revealed the new Layer update will soon become available free of charge to the PlayStation Network. The update will give gamers the option to use analog controls and will enable Rumble support for the DualShock 3. Those who own the game will also be able to download the Poison and Wind Dragons for free. Will these tweaks redeem this previously flawed Dragon Rider? Keep your eyes open for the update later this month. Battlefield fans recently boycotted the upcoming release of Battlefield Bad Company after they discovered some of the game's better weapons would be sold as downloadable content. Electronic Arts and DICE have responded to the complaints from the multiplayer beta. All of the game's weapons will be available free so long as you are willing to put in the time to play through the game. Or you can pay for the Gold Edition if you're impatient and want them immediately. Telltale Games and Homestar Runner have teamed up to deliver a new Strong Bad game for the Wii. A 5-episode season of games become available for purchase through Nintendo's WiiWare service this June. The game will be called Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People and will be based on Matt and Mike Chapman's popular online animated series. Each of the 5 episodes will come out on a monthly schedule. An official website for Ghostbusters, the video game, recently hit the web, complete with a mini quiz to test your knowledge of the franchise. Those who visit the site will quickly be slimed and treated to the game's teaser trailer. You'll also come across a handful of previously leaked screenshots and the top 5 Ghostbusters fan sites. That's all for today's gaming update. Be sure to visit us on the web at g4tv.com/xplay to continue getting all of today's up-to-the-minute video game news. But now let's go over to Adam, who has a batch of games we can actually recommend.
Yes, we actually can. They're not too. Anyway, with consumer confidence on the slide and the economy slowing down, gamers must do their part to keep this country strong. How might you ask? Rampant consumerism. Go out and buy games. Pump money into the system. But don't buy any game you see. Grab these X-Play approved favorites. When it comes to our recent favorites here at X-Play, the first one that popped out at us was Condemned 2 Bloodshot. This sequel to one of the better launch titles for the Xbox 360 is an improvement in virtually every way. The investigation segments of Condemned 2 are much smarter, and the combat system has been refined so that you truly feel the satisfying impact of every hit. Which is all the better when you truly want to savor killing someone with a toilet seat. That's not the only game with great death scenes. God of War, Chains of Olympus is a pint-sized prequel which somehow shrinks down everything we love about the franchise and fits it into the palm of your hand. They were even able to keep the rich narrative drive the series is known for. Oh, and don't worry, they still include a bumping and grinding sex minigame.
Thank you, Mother.
Yeah, That is not what most women say to me afterwards. But enough foreplay. One game that XPlay definitely approves of is the over-the-top carnival ride that is No More Heroes.
I know a lot of gamers out there don't have much patience.
This hyper-action game for the Wii has an incredibly striking look. And it features an even stranger storyline. You play as an otaku who somehow receives a beam katana, which is more than a little reminiscent of a lightsaber. And trust us, you'll be putting it to good use. Oh, did we mention that you can do this with it? Give these games a try, and we promise you'll see why XPlay approves.
The dynamic duo of Sam and Max have been releasing episodic adventures through GameTap since 2006. They've just wrapped up their second season, and we have a review of its final 2 episodes.
Shut up! You broke the game, Sam!
Nuh-uh, I made it better.
Your favorite freelance police are back in episodes 4 and 5 of Sam and Max Season 2, and the detective duo won't disappoint in this conclusion of the season.
I have never been as turned on as I am right now.
What?
Episode 4 begins with the mysterious disappearance of Bosco. After poking around, Sam and Max find that Bosco's paranoia about them may have been justified. And episode 5 finds Bosco in need of some assistance once again. Only this time the stakes are much higher, as Sam and Max are on a mission to locate Bosco's soul.
Nobody gets on board the Soul Train without a token.
A journey to hell and a face-to-face with Satan provide a jolly good time for all in this season finale.
A giant horned skull? Really? I'm sorry, I thought it was 2008.
It comes as no surprise that these episodes continue to deliver the funny that we have come to expect from Sam and Max.
Hey, you can't just throw litter into the time vortex.
Yeah, Sam. Somewhere a time-traveling Native American is crying.
Although with the abundance of inside jokes, you'll probably find them even funnier if you've played all the games up to this point.
Fine, don't say hi.
But it's a great series, and it's even easier to pick up and play with the addition of this season's optional hint system. Then again, serious adventure gamers might find the puzzles a little too easy.
So, that's bad, right?
One of our main complaints is that the episodes are so short, but as far as complaints go, that's not too shabby.
Okay,
All right.
Good to know.
Sam and Max Season 2, Episodes 4 and 5 get a 4 out of 5.
Well done, Sam and Max. That was the last of your quests.
Today's games full of sadistically complex control schemes, which often leads to the gaming equivalent of the Darwin Awards. Sam and Max harkens back to a day when games were simple. All you had to do was point and click. In today's X list, we have 5 other great point and click adventures. At number 5 is Zack and Wiki for the Wii. This game is perfectly made for Wiimote use, and isn't a crap-filled minigame collection. Thank you, Capcom.
Number 4 is The Longest Journey. With its high production values, it proves that point-and-click games don't have to look like they were designed by the guy who draws Funky Winkerbean.
At number 3 is Grim Fandango, which was designed by a young, crazy Tim Schafer, who has since become an older, crazier Tim Schafer.
Coming in at number 2 is Monkey Island 2: LeChuck's Revenge. It does what every good sequel should: port a brand new production team and throw canon right out the window.
And at number 1 is another sequel, Riven. This follow-up to Myst expanded the universe, looked better than its predecessor, and actually delivered on its promises. Aren't sequels supposed to suck?
Not necessarily. The sequel everyone has been waiting for, Grand Theft Auto 4, hits shelves on April 29th.
The game's new protagonist, Nico Bellic, has hidden $10,000 in a lockbox somewhere in the real Liberty City, and it could be yours for the taking.
For your chance to find the lockbox and win the 10 grand, log on to GameStop.com/GTA4. You can pre-order Grand Theft Auto 4 and enter the contest there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Coming up on XPlay, we go head-to-head and talk DualShock 3. The PlayStation 3 finally has Rumble, but should you take the $55 plunge? Plus, Mr. Sark will reveal the winners of his Rainbow Six Vegas 2 beauty pageant, and you'll have the time of your life when we review Dirty Dancing for the PC. This one's gonna be brutal. You don't want to miss it.
to X-Play. The PlayStation 3 launched in November of 2006, and now we finally can use a feature that gamers have been posting angry forum threads about ever since: Rumble. The DualShock 3 is here, and so is our latest head-to-head discussion.
Sony stunned gamers when they announced that the PlayStation 3 would not ship with a Rumble Enhanced controller, instead offering the ultralight motion-sensitive 6-axis. Company reps claimed Rumble was last gen, yet the tilt controls hardly wowed gamers. Late last year, Sony settled a legal dispute with Rumble patent holders Immersion, and now we're back to where we started. Is the DualShock 3's $55 price tag too high? And should Sony abandon motion control altogether? Our guest today from San Francisco, executive editor for EGM Magazine, Shane Bettenhausen. Nice to have you back on, Shane.
Always a pleasure.
And also joining us today, editor for IGN PlayStation, Greg Miller. Welcome to our little discussion here, Greg.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, Adam.
All right, so guys, let's just first get your initial impressions of the DualShock 3. Shane, we'll start with you.
Well, it's a lot heavier than the 6-axis, that's what you'll notice, but the Rumble feels really good. It has all the same functionality. It's basically the controller that should have been in the box when PS3 came out.
Yeah, no question. And Greg?
Yeah, you remember the DualShock 2? It's that without a wire.
Exactly. It is everything we really needed. I'm curious, were you guys prepared for how much we were going to miss the Rumble feature when we first got the 6-axis without that support? Shane?
Personally, I wasn't. Like, I thought, I thought it was an interesting choice that it wasn't there, and I understand the reasoning behind it. But, once I got that 6-axis, I mean, it felt like a bag of popcorn in your hands. It really did not give me the gaming feel I was used to.
And okay, Shane, now obviously I think Sony's kind of painted themselves into a little bit of a corner because they said that Rumble was a last-gen technology and that for whatever reason it could never fit inside of the 6-axis with the 6-axis controls. Do you think that this is going to kind of be a blemish on them, that they're having to eat their words?
Well, I think that spin was probably a bad idea because what was really happening, it was a lawsuit. This company Immersion that has all the patents for the spinning weights that make a controller rumble. Well, Sony wasn't willing to pay them, so they kind of made up that story that it can't fit in here and 6-axis motion control is better. But what really happened was they came to a settlement, they put it back in, and now they're just kind of having to eat their own words. But ultimately, it is a better controller now.
They're not even eating them; they just ignore them.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, well, Phil Harrison went to Infogrames. No one cares what he said.
Now, Greg, $55. When you consider the fact that both the nunchuck and a Wiimote together is $60, is $55 a legitimate price tag for what really is just some old technology that they finally brought into the 6-axis controller?
Well, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but I think the main problem is that the 6-axis was overpriced. I mean, did we really need that motion sensing for $50? And so now they add the $5 to it, and it sounds even more expensive. But yeah, I mean, you figure it's only $5 more than a regular wireless Xbox 360 controller, and this one already has charging ability built into it, whereas that wireless 360 one you buy would be battery operated, and then you have to buy the plug-in charge kit on top of that.
Now, Shane, as we just reported earlier tonight, Lair is going to get this patch to actually give it the analog support it didn't have when it was first released. There really is a lot of negative attitude towards how the 6-axis controls are being incorporated into the games. Do you think this is a movement away from really leaning on that technology?
Well, I hope that, we don't get into a layer where they force the controls into a game and it makes it kind of not fun, but the 6-axis control is still new, and there are good games that use it, like Heavenly Sword used it well, like Wipeout HD, which is about to come out, uses it for steering really well. I think, developers are still going to use it, and they're not going to be forced to use it, but it's still a fledgling technology, and there's a lot of potential for it.
And Greg, what do you think Sony's new direction will be on what used to be their signature technology inside of the PS3?
Well, I mean, I really hope that they just do step back and use it as just a sparingly device. You know what I mean? If you're the problem with the games that failed, like stuff like Toy Home or Lair, is that you were forced to use those. There was no option to change it. And in like Ratchet & Clank, you can turn it off. You can use all sorts of stuff to get around it. Same thing with Dark Sector, which just came out. So if you see more stuff like that, it still gives them this, hey, if you want to use it this way, it's really cool. But if not, stick traditionally.
I'm curious, Shane, what's the first game that you pulled out, one of your old games, to try out with the Rumble feature?
Well, actually, you mentioned Ratchet, and I think that the DualShock support in that is really bad. It's not that great, and like Hot Shots just came out, it doesn't even have Rumble feature. The first game I really played that uses it really well is Metal Gear Solid 4. That's not coming out till June, but I think people will be really surprised by how that uses 6-axis and the Rumble in a really great way.
And Greg, are you finding that some of the older catalog games which are supposed to have this new support for the Rumble feature, like they aren't living up to snuff?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I don't double back all that often. I mean, it's one of those things where once they're in the library, then in the library I don't have to worry about it, and it's kind of starting fresh now to look forward. So up until now, I've been happy with it, and I'm looking forward to more rumbling.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for your insight on the release of the DualShock 3. I agree, it's been a long, long time coming. So thank you, Shane. Thank you, Greg. And now let's just head it back over to Morgan.
Thanks, Adam. For even more on the world of gaming, check out Electric Playground. It's packed with previews, developer interviews, and much more. Hundreds of videos are now available exclusively at g4tv.com/Electric Playground. When XPlay returns, we'll have the results of Mr. Stark's latest Gamer Challenge, an unsettling beauty pageant inside Rainbow Six Vegas 2. But first, participate in the democratic process and answer today's poll question. Did you miss Rumble in the 6-axis? Your choices are A, yes, B, no, or C, I imported a DualShock 3. Cast your ballot at g4tv.com/XPlay, and we'll be right back.
Become a stick figure Spider-Man for free. Indie Games begins in 60 seconds. Welcome to Indie Games, a 60-second smidgen of online amusement. Take a little journey with me. Consider, if you will, the adventures of Spider-Man enacted on the painted walls of Alasco Cave. Well, that's exactly how I felt when I was playing Double Wires. It's a side-scrolling exercise in precision clicking. You'll need to navigate a 2D world of cantilevered ledges rendered in a refreshingly naive stick figure motif. Yeah, I'm dating an art history major. You can tell, right? Good, I'm glad you're impressed. Now, don't let the primitive aesthetic fool you. The gameplay is smooth, yet it's surprisingly difficult. You'll have a lot of fun with it, though. I'm out of here. In the meantime, check me out online at g4tv.com/indiegames for links to this and other great stuff. I'm Kevin Pereira. What do you want for nothing?
Welcome back to XPlay. In beauty pageants, as in life, there are winners and there are losers. Mr. Stark recently held a Rainbow Six Vegas 2 avatar design competition, and here are the striking results. And remember, all you runners-up out there, should the winners be unable to complete their responsibilities or have naked pictures surface on Facebook, you're up. Owners of both PlayStation 3s and Xbox 360 strapped on their best faces, and after much deliberation, the winners have been selected. In the category of model/counter-terrorists, it was a split decision. PSN's Masuyo scored beauty points for his musk hair and thoughtful eyes. He belongs in a museum. Tying Masuyo was Xbox Live's pedantic player, who somehow managed to make his character look more realistic than everyone else in the competition. In the category of face you least want to see creeping up behind you when you peek over your shoulder, Wonder Rod's insane Joker face was cracking us up in the game lab, but it wasn't enough to take first. Winner of the creeping category is Bay Area native, whose face looks like he's watching a nuke go off nearby. Yikes. Finally, we are sad to announce the winners of the should-have-been drowned at birth category. This was like picking the prettiest cloning accident. Master of Chaos's horrible face wouldn't load in-game, making him a runner-up, so he killed himself. Long overdue, probably. The dubious honor of first place goes to Chamois Cope. It looks like he shoved his head under a heat lamp and fused his glasses to his face. All of us here at XPlay hope that your suffering ends soon, Chamois Cope. We don't have any tiaras or musical renditions by Alan Thicke for our winners, but they will receive Jinx clothing for gamers and geeks. Check it out at jinx.com.
All right, when XPlay returns, our hungry eyes will tear into Dirty Dancing for the PC. Oh, trust me, this won't be pretty. But first, here are the top tacticians in today's leaderboard for Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Fans and critics agree Attack of the Show is time well wasted. One of the coolest shows on TV. Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7 and 10, only on G4.
welcome back to X-Play. Earlier in the show, we asked if you missed rumble in your light as air 6-axis controllers. Minor voting fraud aside, most of you said yes. Looks like it was dearly missed. But now let's go over to Adam, who's got a review of our favorite Jennifer Grey vehicle.
Oh man, that's driving Jennifer Grey. That's it for today, but we'll be back for an all-new X-Play tomorrow night at 8. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one tomorrow. X-Play's Mr. Shark heads to Bungie Studios for an all-access look at the new Halo 3 Legendary Map Pack and has exclusive new details about the Halo franchise.
Plus, we'll have an exclusive preview of The Force Unleashed, the game where you can kick unholy ass as Darth Vader, but only for a level. And we'll show you Yakuza 3, which could only be made in Japan.
And we'll be chit-chatting with you in our virtual audience.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.